How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Blind MTG. My name is Ross, and today I'm announcing the Commander Data Community. So before we jump into this and explain what it's all about, hit that notification bell, like button, comment, especially comment down below, subscribe, but seriously, comment down below, let me know what you guys think, because this is going to pretty much be a community-run project that I'm going to need a lot of people's help with, if that makes sense. But anyway, okay. So for those of you who are fans of the Command Zone, like I am, they did a two-part episode where they basically gathered a bunch of commander data, like commander data within a game, and put it all in a spreadsheet and analyzed it to try to figure out some things, like how good turn 1 Sol Ring is, what are the best colors. Really interesting episode. I'm going to link to it. I would suggest you watch it before we jump into this. I don't really spoil anything, but you'll see where I'm coming from. But okay, I'll link to that. It'll be in the description, comments. Alright. But while they had all this data, one thing that they said was that they had an extremely small sample size. So I began thinking to myself, I was like, well, if we increase that sample size, like it would be beneficial for the entire community. We would get more hard numbers. My voice is cracked really bad. We'll get more hard numbers, and I guess I should say solid numbers. But anyway, they mentioned how they had a small sample size. I think it was only around 300 games. So it's definitely not too small, but it's small if you want specific information, like how good are Planeswalkers decks and how good are these kind of decks. They didn't have all that, and so I figured there's got to be a way where the community can just input a bunch of data, because it'd be really simple if you had Commander Online, for example, and you just made a spreadsheet that way, because it'd be all within the game. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but anyway, I wanted to find a way to expand their data. Another thing that they mentioned was having bad data, and I was like, well, let's see, how am I going to do this if there are people out there that may accidentally input wrong data? You know, we have to have this data be verifiable. So essentially what I did is I created a little program, pretty small. I do program. I'm going to school for software engineering, but I'm still very much a novice. I created this program where essentially it asks you for a bunch of data points after your commander game and then inputs it into a spreadsheet. And my plan over time is to eventually either expand this into an app or a website where everyone can input commander data and we can get all sorts of data points and statistics on. Of course, all the Command Zone data, like, let's see, how good is Sol Ring, or what color is the best? I know I already said that, but data like that. But I also felt like they could have expanded even more data, but I'm sure they only had a certain amount of time to get everything together. So, you know, I'm not trying to fire shots or anything at them, but yeah, like, what about questions like, you know, which decks win with which card the most, or how often do people resolve a Cyclonic Rift and end up winning? You know, there's more advanced data points that we can get. Look, I'm also not a data analyst, so I can write the program, but when it comes to crunching all the numbers, I'll either have to figure out the calculations or hire someone. I don't feel like the calculations will be too difficult, at least for the more simpler ones. Some of them I may need help with, or maybe someone out there in the community is a data analyst. Well, this is pretty much why I need you guys, because I think it would be a little premature to essentially go, oh, I'm going to release this program to the community now, when it's very bare bones. Like, it's not even, I'm not going to release it to the public yet, but what I do want is to get a small community, maybe, I don't know, like 10 to 30 people, where they are trusted, they are passionate about this, and we can start at least collecting the data, because it's going to be a while before I can actually compile all the data and it's going to resemble something meaningful. And that's pretty much what this tool that I made, or I guess program, whatever you want to call it, will do. It's only meant for select few people, but eventually I do plan to, you know, have it be online and everything. I just don't know how to do any of that yet. Like, all of this is written in Python. I need to figure out I know how to use HTML, but I'm blind. I suck at CSS, and I don't know JavaScript. So really, like, if any of this sounds interesting, I could always use programmers. I could always, use possibly like graphic designer, not graphic designers, but like people who know how to do CSS, data analysts, or someone who wants to collect data. If you want to collect data like this, I'll talk about that in a bit at the end of the episode, but essentially email me or DM me on Twitter or just contact me in some way. But I'm gonna showcase this program a little bit. It's nothing special. Like I said, it's very bare bones. Also, I'm blind, so I don't know how to like make programs look good. So this is literally just a command line program, but it gets the job done, and it's what I needed to kind of get this project underway. So let's see. You're gonna hear my screen reader, so deal with it. But let's see. Okay, hold on. I was on the Mortal Kombat subreddit. All right. So here's. I guess I don't. Actually, yeah, I will. Okay. So all of it is stored in this data sheet, and there's not really much. These are all just the columns, but these are all the data points that we're going to get. And so essentially, the program, just takes all the input from you and then puts it into this data sheet, and it kind of adds up over time. But right now, there's nothing in there. However, I did collect the data from a recent Commander game, so I can input. I don't remember all of it off the top of my head, but I've been messing around with a lot of the numbers, so I'll just input my part just to briefly showcase everything. But all right, so let's see. Where do I go? There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and run it. Python edh.py. Okay, so the way I designed this program is essentially to treat. No offense, but to treat the user like they're dumb, like they're stupid. So essentially, it's not at that point right now, but it's pretty much at the point where it is very difficult to input a wrong value. Like in today, if I tried typing that or just that or that, it has to be the format that the program requests. And this is part of my efforts to kind of minimize on bad data. Because that's the biggest problem. Like, if we're gonna have a community around this, we have to make sure that all the data can be verified or be trusted in some way. So, all right, I'm gonna go and put in my birthday, because why not? All right, source, where the data is collected, just wherever. There we go. Player ID. So, pretty much, it'll tell you what all this means, but I'll run over it. A lot of these are inspired / pulled from the Command Zones data, so huge shout out to them. Like, honestly, they're the ones who inspired all of this, so thank you. But essentially, yeah, this is like if I rolled nat 20 and I go first, I'd be player 1, and then from there it's just 2, 3, 4. So let's pull player 1. Commander name, simple. I'll put Yarok, because that's what I played. The it's hard typing and speaking at the same time. Partner commander, you can just skip that. Deck link. I don't really need to go into that right now, but we'll skip that for now. Average CMC, again, you can't input a wrong number or like just a bad value. I don't want to go too much into what measures I did to prevent that, because I think that kind of takes away the whole point of it if people know like, oh, this is how I can get past it. Anyway, I keep going on tangents, but let's just say, I don't know, 3.5. I believe that's what it is. Cost of deck, I think it's around like 300. Land count, 36. Archetype. So this one right here, I'd be interested to know what your guys' thoughts on this is, because the way the Command Zone did it is they essentially said, okay, decks with this number of planeswalkers are planeswalkers decks. Decks with this number of instants and sorceries are like Spellslinger decks. Same with enchantments and creatures. But I just feel like that's just way too broad to kind of really, I don't know, just know the deck. And that's why I put down this archetype data point, because I feel like I haven't come up with this yet, but I feel like if we could use set values you could put in, like control, aggro, mid-range, like to be very simple and broad, then I feel like it could be useful later down the line. But I'm just going to put Blink, because it is a Blink deck. Soul Ring turn 1, 2, 3. Mono Crypt, same difference, but I split up the Command Zones data because they had it in one. Boom. Cards remaining in deck, I think it was 69. KO'd by Didn't Die, Your Name, Ross Minor. Who won? Player 1, Color Identity, UBG. I did actually. Yes. No. This one is another one, a new one that I added in. It'd be hard to keep track, but again, if we could just accumulate this over time, imagine like, oh, the average number of cards drawn in a Commander game is it should be interesting. This one, did you play Smothering Tide? Like, haven't you ever wanted to notice or know how many treasure tokens were created by Smothering Tide? Well, we could do that now. Okay, so we're gonna go back to here because it's just where I had it saved. And right there, got all the data. And for anything that's missing, it's just n/a. It's pretty comprehensive. It's great, and then it just keeps pasting or appending to the end of the document. So that's pretty much how this is all gonna work. I'm still working on the program, like I'm not stopping it. It's just gonna get bigger from here. But essentially, this is where I would like feedback from everyone. And seriously, like, if you're really passionate about this, like, tweet this at Command Zone or something, and maybe they'll tweet it out, and we'll really get this going. Because I feel like we can make something really, really cool out of this as a community. But so yeah, to reiterate everything, seriously, like, if you are interested in doing this, we will find a way to get you in the program. Like, we don't even have to play games together, but you could just be in your own pod and go, oh, I want to take some data down, yada yada, whatever. Same with Python programmers / web developers / maybe GUI designers. I could scrape by myself if I really need to, but if you really want to help and be a part of something pretty cool, then yeah, like, hit me up. Email, Twitter, let's see what else. I think that was about it. Oh, and also if you're a data analyst, that would be really useful. But yeah, so I pretty much got all the building blocks set in place, and I really love to know what you guys think about this, because I just feel like this could be something really cool. I'm really passionate about this, and just thinking about all the different data points. Like, this is just a rough estimate, but we could add things like, how often do players die from Torment of Hailfire, or yada, I don't know. Like, there's so many things. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I would really appreciate your input, and hopefully this takes off, and I guess I'll see you guys next time.